Welcome to your HOTS 8 hotel simulation training video for advertising decisions. Now this one is one of the more complicated screens. At the top you can look at previous decision weeks, but your focus is on making your new decisions. So you can see there are 6 boxes, campaigns A through F, and then a couple of side boxes. Let's start on the side boxes. They're a little bit easier to understand. So there's a local visitor's guide. That is something that is produced once per year, and you can decide how much you want to invest in advertising in that guide. You can choose to have or not have a PR agency and a social media page. Again, you don't need to actually build the social media page, but you should have it in order to activate social media advertising. Now down here, you have social media advertising, TripAdvisor advertising, and loyalty program advertising. It is important to think about how much you want to invest in those and note that those are weekly budgets. In your user guide, there is more information about your local visitors guide. Again, the cost of this will change, and it is a once a year charge. There's a little information on web marketing. Again, the prices will change every time you go into this. And the PR agency costs will change whenever you restart. Now, the product-dependent advertising charges are different for different types of products, and we'll see how this works momentarily. So, a local weekly newspaper offers you the ability to spend $550 for a small ad, and it goes out to just under 50,000 copies. Independent radio offers $350 for one day. So if you're going to use independent radio, $350 is just giving you one day's ads. If you're looking at a month or a week, you'd want to spend several times that. A national newspaper goes out once a week. You're looking at almost $11,000 to get a quarter page. Just make sure you're looking at what the charge is and what the time frame is. Again, these numbers do change, so make sure you carefully check it before you jump into it. Very important at the bottom is your direct sales force. This is your sales team at the hotel. They typically are driving your corporate customers as well as your convention, event, and group sales. Now, how much? You should calculate the weekly advertising cost per salesperson based on band 3 of department head salary. This is a guide only, and you do not need to employ additional staff. So these do not count as staff on your staffing decisions, but you should allocate the budget to pay them based on what you pay department heads. And again, that is for one salesperson. If you budget double what you're paying your department heads, then you're getting 2 salespeople. It is important to have that funded if you expect them to sell things. So let's go back to the decision screen and see what that looks like. So in each campaign, you have to choose a product that you're trying to sell. What do we mean by product? Could be your weekday or weekend rooms, and then weekday or weekend executive rooms, and weekday or weekend suites. You could also choose to promote the restaurant, or group sales, or conference and event sales, or even your bars. So different strategies work for different things. So you may want to use conference bookings through direct sales force and figure out what that expenditure would be. Now, If you recall, we're paying our department heads maybe $60,000 a year. So $1,000 a week is a little lower than that. So they might not be very happy with that. Now, these are all your primary campaigns. Down here, D, E, and F give you secondary campaigns. So I might choose to promote my bar, and I might choose to do that through a local radio station. But note that we now have a target week. Okay. So the top three do not go into the details of target week. They're more broad-based initiatives. D, E, and F do allow a specific targeted week. So if I know that there's a weekend coming up and we really need business, we might want to choose posters. And just a language note, when they say posters, that's big billboards on the highway, not just posters on a wall. And I may target a particular week that I'm trying to really boost revenue. That doesn't mean that the advertising is happening that week. It may start a couple weeks before and culminate that week in an effort to boost business during that week. So you do not have to do anything. You can put zeros everywhere and do no marketing at all, but you're probably not going to be overly busy if you do so. So you've got 3 broad-based campaign spots, 3 more targeted campaign spots, as well as your decisions on the visitor guide, the PR agency, and social media, and your weekly budget for social media, TripAdvisor, and the loyalty program. So there's a lot of decisions on this advertising screen, and it's important to do your research. Figure out what is the best advertising medium for the product I'm trying to sell, and at what rate do I need to pay them. So if it's very expensive, you need to make sure it's actually effective in generating business. And you'll need to find research on which is most effective for which product. It's very important that you understand what is going to drive business. So things like conferences, events, and groups are probably most going to benefit through direct sales force. Things like weekday rooms are probably pretty unlikely to be influenced by independent local radio. Your local radio station probably isn't really appealing to people who are coming in to rent weekday night standard rooms. Now, they might be fairly effective in getting people to your bar or weekend suites, but how effective they are does change, and how much they cost does change. So it's a balance between their effectiveness and the cost as to whether it's worth investing in that advertising medium to boost the product that you want. Don't forget to look at the capacity of your product. If your hotel rooms are running 90% occupancy, you're not really going to gain a lot by spending a lot of money on advertising them. Target your spending at where you have opportunity to grow. There's a lot of changes on the screen. Do not forget to save your changes and then save and exit before you, as always, log off.